see, you have 4 top ends seen on the counter over there. 2, as you can see, have power valves. Yeah. And 2 do not. So, this is going to be just a little bit of a history. So, up in the corner of this video, you'll see an eye you can click, and it's going to show you an old video I put up last year on the Maicos 700 and the history of how it came to be, and that's going to be something that you can review and will be relevant to this video. So, first of all, we have this one here, which is a 1983 Maico 490 top end. Right? You can see how the head dome looks in these things. It's very deep. Then this is a 1986 Maico 500, or 490 is what it really is. And as you can see, the porting is very similar between these two. Goes in the back, you see that? You look in the back here, you see that? Let's take a look at the bottoms. Because how do they look? Yeah. Overall, very similar. Right? And we can prove that these are 490s. The piston size should be about 86.50 or something. Let's see what it says. 86.8, so this one here is 87 because it's been bored out. So now we'll move on to the 2004 Maico 500 here. As you can see, that dome is a little different. It's a little rounder, a little smoother. So a little bit of a different dome there. And let's check out the porting. So the porting is different on this one. As you can see, the intake there. As you can see, the intake there no longer has these ridges here. You see how these came in, had a ridge and went up? The ridge is no longer there in these ones. See? So the porting slightly different from the cylinder. See? So that is slightly different. These have more windows on the side. Well, those windows are still there on the side there. Yeah, so it's mostly just that piece that's different. And of course, again, we can prove this is a should be 86 stock bore, so 86.3. So, or this one here must have been bored out to the next size, and then this one here is yet a little bit bigger, 87. So that's what we have here. We have 86, 83, and 2004. This here, so as I said in the other video that was going to be posted up there, that explains the history of how they came up with the 700 and how Maico went on to do they went from a 490 to a 530 to then a 570, and eventually in 87 they came out with the 610. The 610, and this is the 610 top end. And as you can see, it has a power valve, which I don't have with it. One thing I also want to note though, this thing is that this thing has a very, very thick, look at that, a very, very thick metal head gasket. So I don't take this apart yet. Don't feel like taking it apart, but it's a very, very thick head gasket there. The other thing you'll notice is it has this very thick spacer in the back here. So this one came out and it can go on top of, I suppose it can go on top of an 86 500. So let's put that one side by side with the 86. This is an 86 top end. Let's take a look. So what the difference is. So it's very similar. Right? It does have this spacer on it, which I haven't seen. The hole in there, as you can see, very similar. Goes on that far. Has this same spot. Of course, on the front side, the difference here is this is power valve. The other thing I like to note, though, is look at this. 2004 exhaust hole looks huge compared to these ones. They're different how they fit the exhaust. So anyhow, so the next thing to do is we can check out the porting on this thing. Now the porting on this thing, I'm going to tell you, looks like it's going to be different. So also, we use this light to shine in there so you can see the dome. The dome is different than the 83. It's more like the 80, or more like the 2004 dome. It still has 2 ports on the side, and look, it has the same clearance as the 2004, not like the 86 does. It also has these 2 holes here, which is interesting because none of the other bikes have that. None of them do. It has 2 holes here by the intake. See? So there's a hole in the side, and then it also has these 2 holes here. Now this one here is a little bit messed up. The exhaust bridge is bad here. Looks like it had a blowout. You can see scoring here, and the exhaust bridge is really bad. So looks like it had a blowout. So now, like I said, these are different. This is one different thing. So a couple different things are this very, very thick metal head gasket. And this thing here, this spacer that's been added. And then of course these porting holes that are on the bottom here, which typically, if you put it on this top end here, there's nothing really here. So in the cases where this would go on, I'm assuming there was some more porting done to the cases maybe. I don't think there would have to be. You can see that the 83 has some features here, but it doesn't have any porting there. And so this right here is what would be right here. So it would just go there, right? Because the cylinder would fit in here. So there has to be some kind of extra porting on the cases to do for that, I guess. So, and then, of course, as I showed you, the other ones were what they were. You might be thinking, is this really a 610 top end? Well, let's find out. The 610 top ends were 93 or 94 millimeters. And then the newer ones, I think it was 94, and the newer ones were 95. So there you go. 94. So that is 94. as you can see. And as you can see, these are not. So this is the original 610, which had the same stroke as the 490. And then they extended it to a 620 eventually, with a bigger piston, the 95 piston. So there's a 94 size piston and a 95 piston for a 610, 620. So anyhow, that is the Maico. A little bit of history then. The Maico 610 top end compared against these other years. As you can see, from 2004, the 86, and the 83. And so now, so the other thing is, you may ask is what I'm planning to do with this. I'm planning to do anything with it right now. I do have, of course, an 86 that's already put together over here. So I do have this 86 right here that it would go right on top of. But I don't have plans to do that because I would have to figure out how to get the piston. I'll have to get the piston because I don't really, because the current 620s have the 95mm and these need a 94. So. And then I also need to get the plated again. Probably, of course, new gasket, which is this thick metal thing here. I have to find someone to make it custom, I guess. And then if there's anything I need to do with the clutch on that bike, if it just works as is, if the clutch is too powerful, or if the bike's too powerful for that clutch, I have to figure out if I need a different clutch or not. And then I have to figure out what the hell these are for. I have to figure out how to deal with that. I mean, they look like ports to me, so I don't think they're supposed to just go nowhere and just sit there. There's probably porting that needs to be done, or make some porting in the cases so that it goes into the engine or something that way. But so anyhow, this is what the Maico 610 looks like, and that's what it looks like compared to all the other ones. As you can see, the porting in that one is more closer to the porting in this one, with the exception, again, that none of these other ones have those two holes at the bottom there. Just that one does. But otherwise, these how that's all set up looks mostly the same. Yep, there you have it. So yeah, I think the big difference is the 86 had a more dome like this as well, and this one here had that kind of dome. So the 83 had this kind of dome, and I think after 83 or 84, probably after 84, they went to more of this kind of a dome. I think that's pretty much how that one is on that one, on the 86. So that's the big differences between these bikes. That's a little bit of the history, and here you go. The Maico 610 top end. Very old.